What is up, YouTube? So I thought of making a rather possibly stupid video, but I think it would be great to those of you who are very efficient, very particular on the way they do their gaming. So if you are a big strategic gamer and you love finding the quickest way about leveling up, quickest way about finding your enemy, sneaking up behind them, and just overall more efficient, more intelligent thinking of gaming, then you come to the right place. So here's what I've been thinking. There's a lot of little things that add up to a big result if you take into consideration. For example, as you can see, I have bought the Daily Double and the 6-pack. A great little tidbit that you might not be aware of is if you purchase them at the same time, you're less likely to have to wait for both of them, so that you can just get them both at the same time. So if you're someone who likes to get rare supply drops and common supply drops and switch between the two, and rather than just for the heck of it, then it would be a great idea to save up 90 crypto keys, which is what this takes. So you have 45 and 45, I believe. Yes, 45 and 45. So yeah, so when you have 45 and 45, that obviously makes 90. Now, the cool thing about this is you're saving a bunch. So here you're saving you're saving 15 crypto keys for both, which is an extra 30 you'd be saving on them together. Now, what's cool about this is you're going to be getting this for 15 less and 15 less. But what's cool about this is you get the crypto keys and better stuff. Obviously, sometimes you just get crap, regardless of it being rare, and that may happen to a lot of you, but on my off chance it doesn't look good for you. And then the common supply drops, well, if you're going to get crap, at least you're going to get more of it. I know that sounds crappy, but you're going to have more of the chance to have something better because you have 6 times to get something good rather than just 2 with a slightly better chance. Do you see what I'm saying? So you'll have a slightly better chance, but you only have 2 times to have slightly better chance. Whereas this, you'll have 6 times to have a very slim chance, but you have 6 times of it at least being possibly something. So if you understand what I'm trying to say as far as percentage and the likely, it's just science of probability. So there's that. You want to buy them both at the same time because there's a countdown of 24 hours that once you use them all, it will start counting down. And I'll be doing the supply drop at the end of this video, and it'll probably be, I don't know, depending this ends up being a while, it might say 23 hours, 22 hours, depending on how much I decide to, put in this video. Maybe I'll make a 2-parter, we'll see. I often lose myself in, learning and teaching, and I love teaching people new things and helping them grow as people and gamers, and just helping them along the way. And it fills me with a sense of pride knowing that I've helped someone improve themselves, maybe not just gaming, but maybe in a way of life, and maybe they can take away something from this more than just gaming. Maybe they can take away, say, hey, he said something, and that seems very efficient, or that seems fairly smart. Maybe I should apply this in not just gaming, maybe in real life, something like that. Anyway, if we're going to be talking about that, I highly recommend, and I'm not advertising, I don't know the guy, I don't know who he is, but if you're wanting to influence this, economics, intelligence, and strategy, efficiency, I recommend a great book that I ignorantly have yet to read. But it's been told by a bunch of friends, and I'm in the process of, when I catch up on sleep and have the time to, I plan on reading it because I took a Dale Carnegie training. It's a very prestigious training for those who are about business. Now, I don't know why. See, this is just who I am. I have so much going on through my mind, and it's such a fast pace. that I go from one thing to the next. Anyway, so it's a Dale Carnegie training, and I got this book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you're interested about not just strategizing in gaming, but strategizing in life and maybe in business, I think that'd be a great start off, because it's going to help you, you know, how to talk to people. It's going to revolutionize how you treat people. Now, don't get me wrong, you obviously want to be an honest person, but, you know, if you really want to be a good businessman, it's all about the pitch and how you talk to people, and a lot of the times it's more or less manipulation. Now, what I'm meaning by that is, like, let's say someone's really being an asshole and you just have to bite your tongue. More often or not, you're gonna have to make it to where you're you can handle what they're saying, and it doesn't bother you, and you're just null and void to feelings as how people treat you like that. So you're going to have to basically put on a face, put on a facade, and pretend it doesn't bother you, because maybe they're just assholes and are not even trying to be. So, you know, you're just going to have to literally play the game of manipulation. You're going to have to play the game of life, and just like, well, you know, I'm going to be, you know, sweet talk this guy later and then use him as much as I can later on in life, whether they deserve it or whether they're an asset, whatever the case may be. I love it how I just got completely off topic. Anyway, side note, did you know that no one can actually, scientific fact, at least in recent studies, until we disprove the theory, that there is not a single person alive that can think about multiple things at the same time. When someone says they're multitasking in their head, it's actually not true. Now, you can be a super fast thinker and jump from one conversation to the next, but you cannot think of one person, one thing, anything, multiple things at the same time. If you could, I'm assuming you would have to use more than 20% of your brain. To none of this of today that we know of that has been to the public that actually is able to do this. Anyway, back to the gaming. So I'm going to cover score streaks, specialists, and create a class. Let us start off with score streaks. Actually, you know what? Better yet, let's do contracts. Now, obviously, you can get the weekly done in a day, because it's really easy, and just, you know, back when we were playing zombies, everything was scary and everything was a challenge, but now they've just literally just like, they've really made it super easy for those who just complain, and you got the noobs that come in and like, oh, this is too hard, and, you know, they're coming in when the game's been out for like a year, and they're like, oh, this is too hard, everyone's destroying me. Well, then get the game first time so that you have a better chance of just as everyone else. You're going to be a cheapskate, wait till it gets cheaper, then, you know, you got to weigh your options, you know, what are your pros, what are your cons, is that little extra money you're saving worth it? Then you got your daily, and, you know, you can do a lot of these things at the same time, which makes it a lot more efficient. So I could be doing specialist weapons, 500 kills at the same time. A lot of these are just automatic, something like you'll do without even thinking. Some of them will be like, play an objective game mode and and it won't be one of your main contracts or whatever. So I'm not probably explaining this well enough, but you can just do multiple things at the same time. Obviously, if this wasn't understood, you want to do this something that's limited to a time. So if you activate this right now, this is active. If I were to activate this, because this is a trial thing, it would disappear. I would not be able to activate it. It would not be able to be used, and I lose out on it because it's a limited time activate. So if I deactivate it and decide to do something else, it's going to say activate contract. Are you sure you want to? And then it will say, are you sure? Activating this will deactivate the other one, and then this will disappear permanently. And if you've been here since the beginning, there's probably been an additional 2 or 3 other triple plays, so you probably have an extra row at the bottom. And then if it goes any further, it'll probably just have you start scrolling down. This is my second account because the first one was hacked, and PlayStation is garbage with their security, and they'll say, no, you're just talking trash, and someone reported you, which wasn't the case. Even if, let's say, someone else is talking trash to you, and then because you tried to report them, they hack your account, and because they're able to, impersonate someone at PSN or hack into their servers and then basically become a moderator, because hacking is a really easy thing nowadays. You literally have unlimited power, and there's a lot of people with just terrible security, because you're like, what's the point? It's just people, they don't want to invest in security because it's not that big a deal to them. They're like, it's some one person, who gives a rat's ass about that one customer? We have so many loyalists, that one person won't matter. Except that one person does matter if it adds up more and more and more and more until it becomes a landslide. But they're betting on the off chance that it doesn't happen. Anyway, back to this. So, if you want to go all out and just show you're just the most dominant player ever, you could choose Mothership, GI Unit, and RAPS. Now, great thing about GI Unit, you can set it to have it go to specific locations. Now you have to hold down square. Now the whole system, again, it's Activision. Black Ops is the most broken game in the series of any Call of Duty, and it's sort of a reverse. And sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes it's exactly what it says. Sometimes it's not exactly what it says. It will say place, to have it set there, and the wording's really terrible. But in all essence, it follows you, or it stays in the area of the location that you have it set off. Now, it will chase a guy, shoot it down. Now, I haven't tested it, or at least been aware enough to test it to see if it kills a guy, and it will chase the guy all across the map. It keeps missing him, and if he stays close enough to where he still wants to chase him, obviously if he goes too far away, he's going to want to head back, rendezvous back where he originally started, or maybe he'll just chase him. Doesn't matter how long the distance is, as long as you've seen him and the other guy shot him or something. I don't know how the system works. It's all programming. But it's always going to want to come back to the same area, or maybe it's too far away. If it strays too far from its path at all, even if the guy's like right next to him, it's still going to turn around. I don't know. Just something to be aware of. Mothership, an amazing score streak. Really shitty if you have someone who gets it but doesn't know how to use it, and then you're ended up not being able to fire a gun at all because they have it in like the worst position possible, and you're just sitting there like, okay, I'm in a mothership, move it, and then you're the only gun with a mic, you're the only one playing an objective game, being an actual teammate. This guy's camping or boosting with his butt buddies, and he happens to just get it by accident or just from being really super sweaty tryhard, and you're just sitting there, and the gunner's like, oh, well, this is pointless, why am I even here? I'm playing with a bunch of boosters, and this is a boosting lobby, and whatever. Anyway, don't do that. You're a douchebag if you do that. Great thing to do about this is you have launchers, rockets, and the turret. The turret's very strong, but you have to be accurate with it. It doesn't have a blast damage. It really doesn't. So there's a zoom-in capability, which allows you to zoom in. Most people don't use it. As long as you're accurate and you don't just spray and pray, and you have the rectile over the person and you hit it and then just move to the next person and hit it, versus it depends on your sensitivity, how accurate you are, whether you're just going to spray and pray. If you happen to not be good with your accuracy, aim and then fire. A great thing that I probably will say for any map, the X-ray, or I guess the thermal, is going to be something you're always going to want to switch to. It's just better. It highlights the enemies better. Not only is there a box, but I think there's highlighted in orange, like basically a form of wall hack, or red box, as people know it, some certain wall hacks. Race okay, but it gets shot down way too quickly. So it really depends on the lobby. You have to take it into account. If you have a lot of teammates, or the enemy team ends up shooting a lot of score streaks, not recommended. So the thing is, you don't have to have a set score streak and just leave it there forever. If you, just like you're playing a game of gin rummy with someone, if you learn how they play, if you remember all the cards they discard, if you actually take the time and invest the effort to beat the enemy, you're going to just destroy them. Especially if you're an amazing player, you're just going to destroy them. If you take the time to learn about the enemy, if you take the time to see what specialists they have chosen, if you take the time to see what kind of class they usually have set up, if they're a shotgun or if they're a sniper, if you take the time to see each person you're up against and see the people you're with, that they might switch teams, if you take that all into consideration, you have the advantage. You're basically playing a free-for-all. Unless you have a party of 6, which is the ideal situation anyway. But that's not always going to be the case. You always add friends, they pretend to be your friend and then they're never on. That's the typical bullshit. But anyway, Wraith is a good option, but it's really not. So here's the thing. Most people will shoot it down. Now, if you're playing with a bunch of noobs, great. Equip it, if that's something you want. Now, if you know they're going to shoot it down, there's just really no point. Now, here's the great thing. In my opinion, Cerberus is even better than Wraith. First off, it's on the ground. And whereas the Wraith has the height advantage and just can shoot anywhere on the map, which is why most people just, as soon as they get it, they put it in the middle of the map versus over a person's spawn or over an objective, which is the challenge, by the way. Cerberus is on the ground. You can control it, you cannot control it, so that's completely up to you. Obviously, it's going to be more aggressive and intelligent when you're controlling it, if you're a good player, of course. And it has the ability to raise itself, which, you know, it's nice if you want a height advantage. If you can't see over an edge and it's too short, you can raise yourself, which is pretty nice. You can have rockets, you can have the minigun turret. Now the rockets, if you're going to spray and pray, don't use it. Just use the minigun. That thing's amazingly accurate. Only use it, if you're going to use that, make sure to try to aim at the floor unless they're jumping all over the place. You know, try to use something where the rockets are going to use a lot of blast damage. And what's great about this is you don't have multiple people shooting it from any location on the map, because it's not in the middle of the map where everyone can shoot it easily. This you can have go to their spawn, you can control it and go to their spawn and literally just spawn trap them. That and the Talon, they're really overpowered. You equip these two, it's amazing. So let's say you want to camp somewhere, you have the Talon, it protects you, or should protect you. It's not always going to do what it's supposed to do, you know. That's the off chance. You know, sometimes the AI is really shitty, sometimes it's really great, sometimes the Wraith does no kills, sometimes it does more kills than you expect it would. It's really just the game, and you have to take that gamble. But if you just want to think generic of what it's supposed to do, you go camp somewhere, you equip a Talon, and you control a Cerberus, because at least that way the Talon's going to stay next to you, because it stays next to you. It's in a squirt drone. This, you can call it by itself. If you were to control the Talon, the Cerberus is not going to stay next to you. So that's what I would do. I equip the Talon, camp in the corner, and then use the Cerberus. I love how someone's like watching my video, then not watching my video, and then watching it again. Thanks, buddy. You're really making yourself look like an idiot and not very loyal friend. Yeah, it's awkward. Anyway, so Rolling Thunder. So if you have the scythe for the the robot specialist, can't think of the name right now. Reaper. Because people can get confused to the Ripper and the Reaper. The Ripper is the what's the other name of the ghost? The guy with the Ripper, the blades. I can't think of it right now. It's the Ripper is the blades, the Reaper is the character, the robot, and people can use that interchangeably, which is stupid because they're just lazy. And then the scythe is the minigun that the Reaper, the specialist ability, uses. Now that Reaper, if you aim it perfectly as it arches and it starts to come down, and you do it at the very peak, the very tip of the hill it's going over, because it does like an arch, like a perfect arch. You do it when just before you start shooting, just before it hits the very tip, you're going to be shooting everyone. As long as you're in the perfect line of sight, you shoot, like down the middle, it's going to have a little bit of explosive damage I don't know. As far as what I've seen on other clips and what I've done, I shoot down the middle. It has enough range that it hits both of them. Sometimes it won't if there's enough gap. I'm not sure, but that's just something to try out for yourself. So yeah, and that way you can get a lot of score streaks damage, especially if you were to, you can't do that. As far as score streak, what's a great thing is called combat focus, because you can't obviously have Reaper and combat focus at the same time, unless you're one of those hackers, of course, that are able to change their score streak. So I have actually a video of a Ruin using Rejack, and I also have recently seen a Spectre, that's what it was called, Ghost Spectre. Spectre using Psychosis, and all these people using specialist abilities that are not theirs. Now, they're hackers. You can be a retard and say, oh, well, there's no such thing as hackers. Well, you're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Oh, well, PlayStation's never been hacked. No, it really has, actually. There was the whole thing where the CEO took a long-ass bow as if it was a moment of silence and gave everyone a free year of PSN because of it. Yeah, so to say that PSN can't be hacked, you're a fucking idiot. No offense, but you deserve to just fucking get shot in the head. Honestly, guys, I'm not trying to be a dick, but when you think of it this way, think of it from a logical standpoint. if you're not contributing to society, if your life is just built on making everyone else miserable, if you have nothing to offer the world, and you're cancerous to everyone around you, including yourself, the expression "drink bleach" should apply to you, not in a hateful way, but it should, honestly, because if you're such a cancerous individual and you're never going to change, and you're not in a depressive state, you're not in just a drunk, edgy type of, you're not in this like a trial period, this is just who you are, I can understand why someone would say drink bleach, because it's not exactly far from the truth. You might, I'm not going to be suggesting anything, but you get the idea. It's like, if you're going to be a cancerous individual, what's the point of living? If you're that depressed, if you're that, asshole-ish, honestly, I just shrugged my shoulders. I know you can't see that, but like, what can you do? What more is there to the, living? Anyway, oh my god, the topics I'm covering. Anyway, Rolling Thunder is an amazing, okay, not terribly amazing, but a pretty good score streak, especially if you can cover a good majority of the map. Now, you can move it. It does not have to be straight down the middle. You can move it any which way, 360 on the map. Or 180. I don't know why I say 360. People think 360. They think one circle is actually two circles. But anyway. So you can do a complete full 180 on the map. And you can do it in which direction. You can move it around. It's fully movable. I recommend over an objective, especially if it's like domination or headquarters, stuff like that. It's pretty good score streak. Not recommended in hardcore. Really not recommended in hardcore. Raps, I also wouldn't recommend the raps on hardcore. That you get booted, even if your score streaks are stupid enough to do that. I don't know why, but you do. They have somewhat fixed it with a sentry gun in the Cerberus, I believe. But if it's something you control, even at all, like a Rolling Thunder, it will not forgive you. I don't know why. I guess like some of the AI score streaks it can control, but like Rolling Thunder, Lightning Strike, Hellstorm, you will get booted. It's semi-patched with the Sentry and some of the stuff you control. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's for like just the team killing retards that you play with, or people that just team kill you and leave the game. And the thing is, that's been a whole thing where people will just like go on YouTube, if they're actually YouTubers or just cancerous individuals, again, making other people miserable. They'll specifically choose a target that they know, or they think they know, is going to get a reaction out of. They'll kill someone like twice and then they'll leave the game. And they'll leave in a lobby where you're either not joinable just to piss you off, and then they'll watch to make sure to see if you leave the game too, and they'll watch you sit in the main menu. And when they see you in the main menu, they realize they've won, because they're going to try to join you, or to join the person that purposely team killed them. They'll make their lobby close, they'll go join the game where it's full. And they'll just sit there laughing. Ha ha ha, this guy is going to try to join my game and T-kill me back to get revenge for me being an asshole. Think again, I already thought ahead for that. It's like, what the fuck? Or, just stupid shit like that. And sometimes you'll think, oh, well, they killed themselves and then they left the game because they had no choice. But no, sometimes people will purposely kill those specific person 3 times in a row. And they're hoping that you're not going to think that they killed themselves on accident, that they got kicked and that they wanted to kill you more or something. They're betting on you thinking, oh god, he actually killed me 3 times, and he knew what was going to happen. He knew he was going to get kicked, and he did it regardless, just so he could make a point across, like, haha, I killed you 3 times, and now I'm not going to join back. Now, there's some people that will do that just again and again and again. Kill you 3 times, join back. Kill you 3 times, join back. Or kill you twice and then join back so they don't get kicked. It all depends on the type of person, who they are. They'll just join, and then, depending on their ego, oh, well, I don't want to think that I got kicked without me choosing, so I'll purposely leave to make you understand that it was my choice to leave. So I'll kill you twice, leave, kill you twice, leave, over and over and over. Or they'll just start throwing EMPs and concussions all the time and just screw you up. Alright. Oh boy. Alright. Maybe I'll change this video to strategy and rants. I don't know. Explain the Cerberus pretty well. Hard and Sentry. I don't know if they nerfed it or what it was, but the control on it is absolute shit. Like, the AI is a lot better than the control. The control, yes, if they have it to where, not cold-blooded. Yeah, it is cold-blooded. It is cold-blooded. Where the ground streaks won't attack you, but you'll still be able to see them as an enemy teammate. Because it will show like a red name above their head, or it will show not a green name. Either way, it implies that they're an enemy, and the AI won't notice that, but if you control it, you will. The maneuverability, which is just left and right with the sentry gun, or pretty much, is really slow. It's unbelievably slow, and it's retardedly slow. It should not be that slow to move back and forth when it moves a lot faster just by itself. So, yeah, overall, not the best controlled score streak. Great for having 2 score streaks. If you put like them back to back, pretty amazing. By the way, here's something you should know. On Ghosts, you know how some people will put Sentry back to back, when they get a dramatic scene, and 2 super spy agents are like back to back and they're protecting each other and then watching each other's back. Here's an even better way to protect each other's back. Because here's what's going to happen. Because if you're playing Ghost, right, and you're playing Aliens, if you have it back to back, they can still jump from the side, and either sentry is not going to be able to protect each other. Now, get this. I know I'm talking about Call of Duty Ghosts, but just think of it. Like, people sometimes don't think of it because it's just too simple, too obvious, or just too arbitrary. But what if instead of back-to-back sentries or side-to-side sentries, if they think they're like going to put it against a wall, that will like look to the left and the other one will look to the right, and if one alien's on the other one, it will look to the left and shoot it off because they're against a back and they don't think they're going to get stuck up behind because it's just a wall, Why, and I love here's why they're doing it. Like for example, the first map, I'll put a sentry gun, 2 sentry guns where I used to, until I thought of this, back-to-back on the center trap in the city for the first map, and it worked great, but I would always have the occasion of it just somehow the aliens got by and they got on top of each other, and they weren't able to be shut up because they were really close, but of course it can't do a 90 degree where it will turn and shoot behind itself. It only goes within like a little like an arch. It can move in an arch, and it can move left to right, which is like basically a semicircle or sunrise if you think of it that way, because it won't do an under loop, it'll do an over loop, like an arch, versus like a dug in I don't know, trench. Anyway, so here's a better way of explaining. How you can have a smiley face with a open mouth, like he's happy, like about to say something happy, or like yeah, versus like a sad face, like what just happened? I don't know if that's a better way of thinking. No, I had it reversed. Sorry. So it's not going to be a smiley face. The sentry gun will do up, and it shoots center, it shoots up, it shoots left, it shoots right, and slightly diagonally up and slightly diagonally right. So it's going to show a sad face direction, like a D, where the arch is upwards, not downwards. So it doesn't do that. Actually, hold on a sec. Maybe it does. No, I maybe I'm getting 2 Call of Duties mixed up. Certain Call of Duties, as far as I remember, only do the sad face where the arch is up. Other Call of Duties, they'll do a full circle, but they'll only do in front of them. No sentry gun to this day can turn around. Actually, no, that's not true. There was an ability in Advanced Warfare where it had a full 360 degrees. I don't know why it called 360. Oh, because it could turn around and it had full capabilities. Like, for example, as a human head, you can only look left, right, and you can move your body around, but you would have to turn yourself back to center. Whereas this, it can go in circles as many times as it wants. It can, it has a completely movable head, versus it would have to look around and then twist back around because of like wiring would get caught up. It can spin around left as many times as it wants, right as many times as it wants. So it was the 360, I guess, to explain itself better. That had the ability to do that, but although for some reason it worked a lot less, not as good as as advertised. Anyway, besides that, Hellstorm. Great if you're playing objective games like Domination or Search and Destroy, stuff like that. I highly recommend, as long as you get skilled enough and more comfortable enough to be able to use it correctly, I highly recommend shooting, there's a speed thruster that you can activate. As long as you have an idea where most of the main enemy already is spawning or where it is, and you just get the overall feel for how the Hellstorm works, I recommend immediately using the thruster, and then just before, about halfway, adjust it, and then when you have the enemy completely targeted and there as many enemies as the little red boxes show, then I would do the cluster bomb when you have it directly over as many enemies as possible. You do it too high up, even though it's highlighted, it's not gonna, it has a very limited tracking missiles, because if it's too far away, it's not going to track it. It has to have a somewhat heat signature, and it has to be a certain proximity before it can actually search and destroy the specific target. So it might be highlighted, it won't work unless there's a specific amount of distance and it's heading in that specific direction. Lightning Strike, very similar to Hellstorm, although some people they consider it to be better because of the fact that you have 3 destinations you can strike versus 1. Now this is 1 in a concentrated area, because of the cluster bomb payload that you can activate, versus this is 3 different areas. Now, often not, you're more likely to get more kills with the Hellstorm than the Lightning Strike, because most people just guess, or when they're looking on the minimap, the other person realizes they're being targeted, and then usually, or not always, but sometimes, more often than not, they'll immediately try to go inside, because they'll get let know. The person will, get a notification, hey, Lightning Strike is about to be inbound, Lightning Strike, is coming. Now, I haven't tested this out myself, but I'll have to do this probably in the next video, is what if you only get 1 notification? So you call it in and pretend you're going to actually send it out, but instead of sending out, you cancel the score streak, and then wait, get a couple kills or do what you want to do for a little bit, and then call it in when they least expect it. Because let's say there is not a second notification, and you don't just keep get notified as soon as you pull out your holographic touchscreen, computer board, whatever, tablet sort of thing. Then that's an amazing strategy. But if you keep getting let known every time she pulled it out, Lightning Strike, Lightning Strike, Lightning Strike, inbound, or Lightning Strike tracking targets, I don't know, whatever. It depends on how the programming works with that. Maybe you're only getting 1 notification, maybe because it might be too much of a spam that they won't keep telling you every time you decide to pull out the foldable tablet. I don't know. I'll have to test that theory out. Guardian, did you know that if you were the Spectre and you become invisible, the Guardian is completely null and void? You will not get hit or targeted or just damaged by the Guardian at all when you're invisible. That's pretty sweet. Dart, it does work on score streaks. You can use it to destroy amazing score streaks like Raps and GI Unit and Mothership and all that, but it can also be destroyed fairly easily. It's just because of its its aerodynamics, its size and structure, it's very hard to hit, especially if you move it. Now, a lot of people have difficulty moving in and out of structure, so if you want to go and attack a person in the building, you're most likely going to just land it in front of someone, and that'll be it. You won't be able to use the 3 missiles that go along with it. The way to move it, if you want to really get a bunch of guys that are camping in a building, there's an ability to slow it down. And as long as you're really good with maneuverability and and you're also good with science of probability, where you actually think about it, you foreshadow, I know what the structure looks like, I know if I go in there and if I accidentally hit this wall, that's going to be done for the score streak, so let me try to remember not to hit that wall as I go up. For example, let's say it's Combine, there's a little podium in the middle. Alright, when I enter through the front entrance, I got to remember not to hit the podium, go slightly to the left and slightly to the right. Now, it's a slow thing, but the maneuverability is pretty quick, but that's like if you start to move to the left, if you move too much to the left, it's gonna take a lot more time to recover. So that's the problem. Like you can make a slightly quick turn, but to turn back it's a slow, recover time. I guess that would be it. So just slow down. Make sure it's just like a car steering wheel, it doesn't take much to jerk it to the left and jerk it to the right. So just do small movements. That's the best versus like jarring, left or right. And I have maximum sensitivity, and it's fairly easy for me to maneuver it, even within structures. And I can even go full speed if we're actually doing, like some people do HXD races, some people do dart races and all that sort of thing. I actually could maneuver a building very fast and without slowing down, even on Combine. However, in most cases, if I'm going to do the front entrance, the spawn point of Combine, I'll most likely speed in, move slightly right, slightly left, going beyond the little podium in the center. Now, going up the stairs, I think it would be too difficult for me to pull it off to make a left diagonally versus going, because there's a wall, and then I'll have to make a left and then make a right to go to the second floor and then to the wall run area. I think it would be a little too difficult to do that, because then I would immediately have to pull to the right. I mean, I could potentially do it, but I'd have to take practice, because instead of making left right, I would have to just go diagonally left right or diagonally left forward and then smoothly make it to the right without jarring it too much. So there is that. But yeah, I would probably speed in, left, right, slow movements, and then probably slow down and then do that. That's how that works. Counter UAV, great, especially if you're using it when someone else just called in a UAV. So that could be very good and very, if it's well timed, could be great use if someone doesn't have something to shoot it down, and if you're playing Search and Destroy. And there's that. And then there's different rules for arena, like I don't know if you're allowed to call in anything like UAVs, haters, stuff like that in there. I know they have certain stuff you can't use, so that would be pretty pointless unless you're taking into account because someone shoots, it shows a little red dot on the map, and then that actually would be useful unless they have permanent radar on, which I don't know if that's one of the rules. Anyway, care package, also pretty good at score streak, especially if you know how to use it. I'd say engineer and care package is amazing combination, especially if you add the Seraph combat focus. Really, really good combination. And then if you want to get even more strategic, add black hat. So let's say you get killed, or some teammate is a team killer and he team kills you, and he's going to try to steal your shit, right? Now if it's hardcore, they've added a adaptation, so when you're playing hardcore, if someone tries to kill you, as soon as the core streak is dropped, you will die in the process, not them. But if you wait about 5-10ish seconds and they don't take the care package, they're no longer, if you try to kill them, you'll no longer be killing yourself. So you have to wait a good 5-10 seconds, and then you can steal their stuff, even if you wanted to kill them, to be a douche move. Anyway, now here's the thing: if you use a black hat and you use, because I hate the new black hat, the other black hat and Black Ops 2 is way better. There's this little hexagonal aiming system, targeting system, and the closer to the center you are, the quicker it takes you to hack something, which is really stupid. It makes it nearly impossible and just pointless and just a waste of time, because by the time you hack a UAV or a counter UAV or whatever, you could have already killed 5 guys and done the objective and whatever. So the hacking system is really retarded when it comes to actually hacking any other score streaks, whether it be destroyed or to take for yourself. Now, as far as I'm aware, you cannot hack anything for yourself other than counter UAV. I do not believe you can hack a hater, and I do not believe you can hack anything for yourself as far as like GI unit, Cerberus, Hard Sentry, Guardians, which is really retarded. I love the ability you can do all this different stuff in Black Ops 2. They really fucked up. This game is already fucked up since it's the most broken Call of Duty of them all. But yeah, so I do like the fact that when someone throws an equipment, you can basically hack as much equipment as you want. I know certain Call of Duties that have had the black hat in the past, you can only hack so many before they start blowing up. As far as I'm aware, you can hack as much equipment in this game as you want without it blowing up. For example, if you decide to throw 2 C4 and you get a scavenger pack and it gives you another C4, because certain Call of Duties, if you get 2 C4 and you get a scavenger, it won't let you scavenge for another C4, or if you throw another C4, the first one you originally threw will explode, whatever the case may be. I know Black Ops, the original, you could put as many claymores or whatever you wanted in a corner, when people would usually put them in a corner to save them for later for the hard, more difficult rounds. Nowadays, if you try to throw more than your allowed equipment, then the first originals will start to blow up, which is stupid, I know. But in any case, yeah, so Black Hat is amazing, especially so let's say someone tries to steal your care package, they kill you, obviously you're going to spawn nearby, especially if you just skip the kill cam, which there is no kill cam in hardcore, which would defeat this whole explosion in the first place. But if an enemy decides to try to kill you and you spawn nearby to try to take your package, because it takes them some time to take your care package, it takes like probably a second. It takes them a good 3.5 seconds to take your care package, or probably 2.5 would be more accurate. I don't know, maybe 3 seconds, somewhere around there. It takes, if you were to use your Black Hat, it's the equivalent to grabbing it when you just use your hands, maybe slightly quicker. And what people do, and especially in troll videos, they'll put 2 C4 around it, and they'll probably hide one somewhere else, and the guy might shoot your 1 C4, but the other one's hiding on the other side. He'll use the Black Hat, take the care package, you'll be like, what the hell, who grabbed it? And most people don't know how Black Hat works. They'll forget about the one on top or the one behind it. They thought they already blew up the second one, or one of them, and then the other one will explode and they'll die. That's usually the troll videos work. Besides the other one where they'll use the ruin and try to outmaneuver the ones. A lot of the times these days, they're really trashly made. They'll use a stun grenade and run around in circles. It's like, it's not impressive, when you're throwing concussion and you're running around in circles, because they can't really do much when they're concussed. So you're trying to make yourself look cool and have skill, but they're concussed. There's not much you can do. You running around circles doesn't make you look cool. At that point, it's taunting. Now, if they're not concussed and they have just terrible accuracy and they're just shooting all around in circles and they can't act, and you're just surviving, or you're just near death and you're escaping all of it and you're able to juke them, as the term goes, now that takes skill. That's enjoyable to watch, especially if the person's spraying and praying, or just a noob or whatever, when they happen to give a couple shots on you, and you, instead of panicking and killing them right away, you manage to survive and then kill them in an actual hilarious way versus panicking. UAV, it's as classic as it gets. It lets you see the enemy. Now, for certain game modes where you only have one life, you shouldn't just call this in whenever you get it. You should wait to use it unless you've got enough kills where you're about to get it all over again. So let's say you have UAV, care package, counter UAV. If you know you've gotten your counter UAV and you're like 10 points away from getting your next score streak, but since that is your third score streak, it would just start from back from the beginning, because the score streaks don't stack. At least they don't stack to save score streaks. Save score streaks in certain games, like if you grab a care package or someone else's care package, stuff like that. Those score streaks in certain Call of Duties will stack. In this one, but the initial score streaks that you have to your score streak counter will not stack. So if you get UAV care package, counter UAV, and you do not use your original UAV, it will replace your original UAV. Same thing goes for if you die. If you get UAV, counter package, and counter UAV, even if the fact that you've died and you get enough to get a UAV, doesn't matter. You'll still be replacing that first UAV. So rather than wasting that care pack to replace itself with something that it would just be like, like having, for example, think of Zelda. You have 99 rupees, you grab an extra rupee, well, either it just doesn't get placed in the bag, or you put that one in and another one falls out and you're still stuck with 99. So it was pointless, Or for those who are obsessive that want to open that chest that gives you an extra rupee, and the game mode doesn't just, say, oh, well, you're holding too many and puts it back, that actually allows you to grab it. Well, then you're just wasting, like, let's say it's silver rupee and you get 100 or however many the amount is for a silver rupee. You're wasting it. Yes, you opened up the chest and you're a completionist or whatever, but you're wasting that. You could always come back for it. So, it's pretty self-explanatory. And the HCXD, if used correctly, even though it's very easy to get, can be an amazing as simple it is, it's really easy to get, it's reliable, it's consistent, especially for noobs and you just can't get all these other higher end score streaks. It can be really well used, especially if it's just one life games like Search and Destroy, and you can just keep hunting them out over and over again. And it's a bit noobish, not too many people do it, but it would actually be an amazing strategy, especially if you're looking to build your confidence, getting a handle of the game. Just use the first 3 score streaks, and that could probably set you up, for real. You keep sending out those UAVs, and the guy that keeps shooting them down, that gives you an opening to kill him while he's shooting them down. Or if he doesn't keep shooting them down and he leaves them out there, then that gives you enough time to go find the enemy and where their location is. So it's a win-win either way. If they don't shoot it down, it reveals where they are. If they do shoot it down, you still get an opening to go attack the guy, especially if you find him the first time, predict where he's going to be, foreshadowing. Okay, so that, by the way, if you're wanting to get the combat focus and the challenge where it says, earn all your score streaks within one combat focus, obviously, if it wasn't obvious enough, use the easiest score streaks to get, which would be the least amount, which would be 400, 500, and 550, which would be Care Package, UAV, and HCXD. Now, it used to be the RCXD, which would be remote-controlled explosive device, even though explosive doesn't start with an X. You get the idea. Now it's hover-controlled. Not hover-controlled. Hover-capable explosive device. Instead of hover-controlled, hover-capable. Well, I mean, capable. Is that to imply that it's not usually capable? That's sort of stupid. Anyway, hover-capable explosive device. Now it can stick to walls, ceilings, floors, has a jump capability, has a speed capability, and on older games like the RCXD, they would actually have maps that were built in for HCXDs to sneak around. It's a cool area, so which I really loved how they actually took the time to actually make something cool. They actually made something. The HCXD had a map, like for example, Ghosts. They had map-based extortion. I love that. That's creative. That's cool. That makes it, now we're playing this map, and it has this map-controlled score streak where it will either affect a part of the environment. Now, it's not all-inclusive where it's all over the map, but like, let's say a bridge, they'll use it to knock out a bridge, or what that would be originally objective, like B-base or something. I don't know. Or they'll, it's just really cool stuff. Like Michael Myers. I love when they introduced that. That hype was so built. Or at least for me it was. And then on Black Ops 1, they included little holes in the fences where you could go outside the map with the RCXD, and you had ramps where you could jump up so you could get cool height, kill cam, kills. They really try to make it cool for that. So I appreciate that. Yeah. I'll make this quick. The blackjack enables you to do weapons and abilities. Now, the thing with abilities, it is quicker to get. However, it's just like the timer. There's a circular thing. This requires 5 kills, I believe. And what's cool about it, it sort of acts like a support score streak, where even if you die, you'll still have 1 counted towards it. And if you're using, let's say, the Spectre's Ripper, if you try to use it and you miss the kill, you'll still keep 1 or 2 in addition to your 5 kill counter, which is pretty nice because you'll need 5 to use it. And I really appreciate the weapons because it's easier to use than the normal weapons. But with that being said, the con is that you don't get to choose what it is always, unless you kill the last person. So what it does is you get the 5 kills, and the last of your 5 kills, or maybe it's 6, I'm not sure. But if you get the last one and you kill a specific specialist, you get of whatever specialist or weapon that specialist is. So if the last person you killed was the Ruin, you would get the Gravity Spikes. The last person you get was the Nomad, you would get the Hive. So it's whatever you last get, and then you have the ability to switch it based on whatever last person you get. Now, here's the kicker. If you decide to switch from the Gravity Spikes to the Sparrow and you swap to it, then you get another kill hoping to swap it again. It will not allow you to do that. That's the problem with that. So be aware, be careful. Is it worth it to switch to something, they have upped the ante for the Sparrow. They added, I think, an extra couple arrows to the Sparrow, and I think they increased the blast damage because like nobody uses the Sparrow. Nerfed a couple other things. Now, as far as specialist weapons, the Gravity Spikes is amazing for groups of enemies because it just covers a black radius. It's sort of like a Hellstorm, but more close up and personal. The bow actually can be good, but you have to be accurate with it. It does have a bit of blast damage. They did increase that. But it's not a good weapon if you're not familiar with it and you're not accurate with it, and it's not good for those who are just spray and pray. So that's why it's not very liked by many, because it actually requires skill. This is a pretty good gun, and I don't know what it is, if it's just lag delay or what, but even if you slightly miss, you know, like let's say you kill someone that, you know, on their screen it shows they got to cover, but on your screen it shows you killed them. I don't know if it's just Call of Duty lag, but it seems to apply with this. So even if it seems like you or yourself, you're like, oh man, I missed the shot. Oh wait, it said I got the shot. You know, I don't know if it just is in time with that, but I've noticed sometimes like people will get the shot when it clearly shows they didn't get the shot themselves, or on my screen, but it apparently says it does. So I don't know if there's like a little blast radius where it just gives it to you. I don't know, but it's really accurate and does a lot of good sway shots. So, you know, like if you're side scoping, I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, this is great for if you just need to clear an area. Oh, thanks, bro. Appreciate it. The Boss UK 2003. Shout out to you. First comment. Appreciate it. Check out his channel for whatever the content may be. So War Machine, it shoots out a ball that shoots into little motor balls. It basically is the flat cannon for any of those who made like the first person shooter, which was, I believe, Unreal Tournament, or like the biggest franchise that just became really popular really quickly was called Unreal Tournament. They had the most amazing guns. Like, they really were creative. I loved their guns. So it's the flat cannon was like a mixture of an explosive, you know, a shotgun spread, and, you know, additional spread. So it had the main fire and alternate fire. The main fire was like shotgun, hot flak, you know, like shrapnel, and it was really close up, really great for close up. And then the other one would shoot like this bouncing ball that would bounce one and explode its shrapnel. This is basically that it would bounce once, which also has explosive capabilities if it's direct contact, and then it will spread into little mini 3 individual balls, and then I believe those 3 individual balls are spread. So the main ball spreads into like, I think, 4 mini ones, and then those mini ones spread into like 3. So it'll be 3, 6, 9, 12, I believe. And you have like, what is it? I mean, I could be doing the wrong, but you get the general idea. You have like a couple of shots, like 6 shots, something around there. The Annihilator, pretty good. Again, you have to be accurate with it. Doesn't matter if you shoot the body or the head. It's a one-shot kill, unless, of course, you're playing with a hacker, and then whatever. Now, you can also use this for score streaks, so you want to shoot down the UAV, you can take down RAPs, GI units, whatever, but it will probably cost you most of your clip. Same thing with the Tempest and the Sparrow and whatever. This usually takes down even the heavy score streaks. Should only take the ones. So, like, for example, I've seen this take down a Cerberus. This will take a couple shots. Obviously, you can't do aerial score streaks. It's a slam down. You know, this for like RAPs will take like 4 shots. Basically, I think if you think about it, I think it takes the same amount of shots that it would require rockets. So if it takes 4 rockets, it would take 4 shots. I think that's how they would do it. It would make sense that way, because if it requires a certain amount of rockets, it would require the same amount of shots. That would make sense, now that I think about it. I think I'm the first one to discover that. I haven't seen anyone else's videos that have said that, and trust me, I've invested a lot of time and research into discovering who else makes tips and tricks, and who else says things, and I try to be the one that either says the accurate thing to correct people spitting out lies or miscommunication, like when the Zombies Easter egg first comes out and they say, oh, this is the Easter Easter egg, but then everyone else says it's wrong. I try to get to the bottom of it. That's one of the main reasons I made my channel, because I just got sick and tired of people saying, oh, I'm right and everyone else is wrong, and I'm the first to discover this glitch, or this is the right way to do the Easter egg. I'm like, it's aggravating, especially when I found glitches before anyone else, and then they would take credit, because I would say, promise don't tell your friend, and of course they lie, and they tell their friend, and they tell their friend, and then the first person actually has a channel pretends it's their first glitch. But you know, it's honestly comes first come first serve. I can probably claim there's like at least 3 to 5 glitches I found completely by myself, because I would just like do that at all the time. At day 0 when the Call of Duty came out, I just like spend my entire time investing into finding glitches. Either someone would find me doing it, watch how I did it, you know, versus killing me, and then they told their friend. Tabitha, hello, how are you? Every time I see your name, I'm reminded of Tabitha St. Germain. I'm like, oh, it's her. If you know who she is, high five for you. Fist bump to you. You're awesome. Scythe, like I said, it's great, especially if you're trying to take down score streaks, especially like Rolling Thunder. And if you're taking down Rolling Thunder with the Scythe, it's going to do a lot of good score streak bonus to you. Although it's the longest to take up. Ripper, I gotta say, it looks the coolest for getting kills. It's basically Commando from Modern Warfare 2, I think. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2. Has great range. It's great for stealth. It's the easiest one to get. If you don't use it all, I mean, depending on how much you have left over, of course, you can still have some remainder if you don't decide to use it all. Looks really cool. If you got a bunch of guys concentrated, it's technically, if you used correctly, may even be better than the gravity spikes. So yeah, it's just an amazing ability. And if you just want to get a lot of kills and just look cool while doing it without looking like a noob, there's certain things like bringing out the haymaker, the gaymaker, as some people call it. That is the way to do it. Purifier, very similar. It has a bit of range though, so it gives you more room for in case you happen to get someone with a one-shot shotgun or someone using a shotgun. This enables you to have a little bit more of range than they do, and as long as you burn them once, they're more likely to die, because it has an after effect of burn, which is pretty interesting, and I appreciate that. When I'm the one doing it, of course, not when it's being done to me. So they'll like spray me once. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna shoot him before I die with my second burn, because it takes like 1 second you're burned, and then the next second you're burned. So you have that like 0.5 milliseconds to get your shots in before you're burned by the second burn, unless they're continuously spraying. If they're continuously spraying and you're still getting burned after you've been burned the first time, then there's no redemption for you. It's only if they get one spray of flame on you that you get the chance to like get your shots in. And so that's specialist weapons, specialist abilities. So this, like the cards, the abilities for the weapons, you get to. Hello, Corey Jones. Hi, are you? How are you? I said, hi, are you? Wow. So the cards, instead of getting switched to the last one you killed, so if you get gravity spikes and you want to switch to Sparrow, this doesn't let you do that. This lets us as more of a gamble, which is why there's cards. So if you get an ability, you automatically get the chance to completely change it. But of course, it's a gamble. You don't get to choose what it's going to be. It's going to be completely random. So that's the gamble. So let's say you're using Search and Destroy, and you want to like defuse a bomb, and you're using invisibility, and someone's coming, and you decide, well, I don't think invisibility is going to cut it. This person apparently saw me last time I was invisible, and you want to switch at the last second, and you're hoping to get like, I don't know, rejack, because it's Search and Destroy, because you're defusing a bomb, but you end up getting something that's not glitch or kinetic army. You end up getting like vision pulse. Well, if the guy sneaks up behind you, unless you get something that's good like overdrive to just split second run away or teleport out of there, or have enough armor to reflect it, unless he's using something where he shoots you in the head, or if it's some sort of explosive or melee weapon, then you're out of luck. So that's why it's the gamble. I'm pretty good. Yourself? Oh, you already told me. I love that. Like, for example, when someone says, hey, how are you doing? I'm good. All right, I gotta go. Have a good day. Have a good time at the convention. And then I'll just out of nervous or just habit, I'll say, you too, but you're not going to the convention, so why would I say You too. It's just, it's like a habit. You want to be nice and you want to say have a good time yourself, but because he was specifically told you to have a good time at the convention and say, oh, you as well, it's an implication that he's doing the same thing you are, but you mean to just say have a good day as well, but that's not always how it comes out. Okay, Overdrive, amazing if you're for that one person that runs and guns and you're just using like a submachine gun or something. Really good score streak. Or let's say you lost something like a care package and you end up spawning on the opposite side of the map because your teammates are a bunch of retards and they just let you die, and then you're pissed off at them and you really want to get that care package and it's like wraps and the enemy's busy taking it. If you are able to use this quick enough, you're able to like go get it, and like especially if you have blackjack, then you can or black hat, run over there before the care package falls, and if it happens to fall before the guy takes it, which takes about an additional 3 seconds, you can use black hat and then just kill him afterwards. Or you could take the risk of shooting him, but he might have already had that split second to take it, and so that's the gamble. Is the care package worth it, or is surviving worth it? That's all depending on how confident you are in your skills and if you can get the shot. Vision Pulse, great for objective games to find out where people are. Obviously, you should use it in the most concentrated area of whether it be their spawn or where you imagine they're going to be based on if you can figure out their camp style, their overall gameplay, etc., etc. Glitch, in my personal opinion, is the best, potentially the best ability in this entire game. So let's say you're just running high score streaks, you're the best player in the game, and you're just amazing, you're carrying your team, the other team's trash, your team's trash, and you're just doing amazing, you're just destroying everyone. You're the MVP of the world. Okay. But you happen to get stuck by someone camping in a corner or camping in the building. They're just using rocket launchers and breckies and haymakers and all that gay shit. And you're like, oh, fuck, I do not want to lose my score streaks to this noob. So if you manage to hold down left L1 and L2, or depending on if you have yours tactical or not tactical, R2 and L2, whatever, you're able to teleport out of there to a couple steps back of your previous position. So think about it. If any of you ever watched Smallville, and when Clark Kent's doing his super speed, it basically is a speeding camera special effect where it basically shows him walking and just or power walking wherever he's going, but it just speeds up the effect, like frame by frame. And this is basically what it does, but backwards. So if you were walking a couple steps forward to turn the corner, and then you turn the corner, it would teleport you back down the hallway, probably like 5 feet, 7, 10 feet before you actually went to go turn the corner, which can be really good, but really bad if someone knows where you're going to teleport. So it depends on how smart your enemy is, and if they know how to outmaneuver your glitch. Kinetic armor, also pretty good compared to glitch, but not necessarily, because here's the thing. I don't know if this is just me, if it's just been nerfed or whatever, but if you're getting shot enough, eventually the armor weakens and you get killed. I don't know why, I don't know how, but it's not completely invincible armor. It seems that as far as I know, when I have it equipped, and it's being active, if you keep getting shot, how there's a timer and it slowly, or this one actually speeds up, is quite a fast ability. You only have a couple seconds of it. Every time you get shot, that health you have around the circle of its time has activated. It speeds down quicker and quicker every time you get shot, and you can die even by just getting shot in the body. Now the resolution to this, if you're the one shooting the person, is shooting them in the head, anything explosive damage, or just meleeing them, preferable to a melee weapon that doesn't take 2 shots, which is basically your fists. So yeah, and if you're on the opposite end and you're the one wearing it, just run away or have accuracy and shoot the person. Damn, I got 3 people watching, yay me! By the way, I recently hit 200 subs, yeah. Alright, combat focus, amazing, like I've said previously, goes great with, honestly, anti-up is really useless. It's not even worth using, but maybe if they, I don't know, boosted it, made it, or not, what am I thinking of? Not nerf, what's the opposite of nerf? whatever, if they made it better, because the past couple times they've made anti-up, it's just been a really shitty second perk. It's nuts. I mean, and the Black Ops 3 has been the worst of them. So, no, I highly recommend not using anti-up. It's just not worth it. And if you're a good enough player, you won't need it anyway. I highly recommend using Engineer, EMP, or Black Hat, just to get additional score, especially when using this. Black Cell for taking down score streaks. And maybe just, I don't know, some sort of equipment, like, well, I mean, it lets you, if you have Black Hat, and you basically can hack anything in the game, which is really useful. So I highly recommend Combat Focus when you have all 10 power cores. So what I do is play Fracture, especially when they have it like double XP or something. I will get my 10 cores, or at least try to get close to 10 cores, and I'll have like high-end score streaks, and I'll have like my, RAPS, GI unit, and Mothership. And if I have all 3 of those, I get my plus 10, or my 10 cores, and I've already killed a couple of people. What the hell is happening? Is it an update? Oh god, hopefully the video doesn't cut out on me. That's stupid. I literally did nothing, and it's loading. Probably an update. Or I just froze. The fuck? You have been disconnected from Call of Duty Black Ops servers. Yay! Either it's a hacker or Black Ops 3's shitty servers. Please don't tell me I got a stripped NAT type. That's another thing. Like, most people have moderate NAT type, even though they'll have like better than most, and then they'll have this one person with really shitty internet they'll have open. It's like, what the fuck? Where's the logic in that? But that's Call of Duty logic for you. It's actually become a meme. I'll see this one guy with an emblem, and it shows Call of Duty logic. You shoot them in the head, and it shows you missing, but then they'll shoot you to the side of you, and then we'll get the kill. And be like, the fuck? Call of Duty logic. Yes, pray for me. Pray for me, my disciples, for I am Kira. Oh, good. This most likely is notice of hacker, not actual. Yeah, because when it shows error codes like this, this is usually someone trying to mess with my account. Like DDoSing or IP address bullshit. Not available at this time. Please try again. Blah 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 blah. Retry. I most likely am going to have to reset the game. Close app and start it up. And unfortunately, I'm only able to record when I'm actually playing a specific game, since I do not have the wire that connects to my PS4 and then to my TV. I mean, they are compatible because I have a smart TV, very nice one at that, but it will probably not work. So I'll probably just make a part 2. I do appreciate your prayers, but I do not think it's going to work. I might have to reset. Anyway, if I do have to reset, I will cover the bases, the finishing up on the specialist, and then I will move on to create a class. And that's what I will do. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to like, subscribe, definitely leave a comment. So if you have any suggestions at all, so maybe new content, anything you would like to hear me say, maybe comment on a previous video, anything you don't like or you'd like to see more of, I'd be more than happy to discuss that with you and even possibly do it completely. So if you have an idea for a video, if I like it or if enough people like it, I would be more than willing to consider it or actually do it. So please leave a comment. It is appreciated and it will be noted. I am not some massive cocky YouTuber where I have 1 million subs where I'm like, oh, well, this one person said this, who cares? I have too much notes and spam already. I'm getting there slowly but surely, but I do like to pay attention to my fans. So you have something to say, I'll be more than happy to reply. Yeah. Chilla. Anyway, by the way, I did finish watching. Funny thing is, so look at this. I have been told by all my friends, you've got to watch this anime. You got to watch this anime. So I did that with Full Metal Alchemist. I did that with all these ones. I have to say my favorite by far, just absolutely by far, is Code Geass. I relate to Lelouch Lamperouche on such a personal level. It's like, holy shit, is this me from another life? Like, I'm not even kidding. But someone finally convinced me to watch Death Note. And, you know, sometimes by the animation, people automatically assume, oh, this is going to be a shitty anime or whatever. And, you know, funny thing is, because I get told so much, I actually have that in the back of my mind. And I've actually watched some of those just because my own personality is like, well, I'm not going to judge a book by its cover. I mean, I'm silently judging it, but I'm actually going to give it a chance. So I'll watch the shitty animes or the weird or the one anime, you know, like art styles that I'm not usually used to. I'll give it a chance of like, oh my god, the art style is really weird and I'm not used to it, but guess what? I'm really enjoying the story. I'm really enjoying the anime. And funny thing is, I have yet to, or at least that I can remember at this moment, I have yet to, at least one that I can remember, find an anime where their art style is different or weird or even low budget, where the story hasn't made up for it. Like, I have loved every single anime I like, and I love how Asians or Japanese people, they'll implement politics, but get this, they don't do it in a one-sided way. They do morals, they put science, they do things that make sense. So that instead of forcing something down our throats, they'll do character development. They'll do two sides of it. They'll do the Republicans, the Democrats, the nature versus nurture. They'll do both sides, and then they either give you the determination of what you want to choose, or they'll swing it one way, but they'll provide a reason why. They're not just saying, well, here, we're believing this and that's it. They'll provide the argument of, well, should we be Superman, you know, Clark Kent, like super goody two-shoes, you know, and try to save everyone, or will we be like, okay, well, if you try to save everyone, you'll save no one, and you'll be like anti-hero, or, you know, like Green Arrow-ish, where they all realize there is a gray area, and sometimes you have to commit evil to get rid of a greater evil, and yada yada yada. And I love that. I love how anime does that, and then the creators are so creative. So anyway, my friend told me to. Yeah, so I appreciate your that, boss. Yeah, UK. I really want to go visit the UK. Maybe I'll be SAS one day. Anyway, so, what was I saying? Yeah, so a friend really wanted me to watch Death Note, right? So I finally started watching it, and I binge watched it because I just loved it. I loved every bit of it. It was like a little interesting at first, but then it just got so good. I was on the edge of my seat. I was pumping my fist. I was like, yes, yes, yes. Oh, it's so good. You know, like basically having a man orgasm. And it was just so enjoyable, and I just love it. Like, I don't know what about it. Maybe it's just I relate to it on a personal level. But when someone has just been kicked around and abused, and all his niceness has been taken advantage of, or just someone who's a good guy or stands for good, but he just keeps getting kicked around and life keeps beating him up, and he's just an unlucky person. But when that one person gets the ultimate power to change the world for the better, I just feel so connected with it. And then he starts getting a little, you know, cocky and just overconfident. Even though it's like, you know, cheesy, but I love it. I love it. Like when Iron Man says, you know, cheesy things, or when he gets really cocky and he gets like just, you know, what's the word? You know, like very theatrical. Lelouch is very theatrical. He'll like throw his arm to the side when he's doing his like power, you know, his gios. I find it very, just exciting, you know, and I was gonna say innovating. That's not the right word. It's just very exciting. It's very exciting. It gets me pumped. It's very pumping of the blood. Anyway, so I finally finished watching it, and I had to say, my favorite scene from the Death Note was when he's like, I'll take a chip and eat it. And oh my god, the theatrics of that. So it's like, that's gotta be a meme. I gotta find a shirt somewhere where he says, I'll take a chip and eat it. And yes, he could have explained it, that because he'll take a chip and gotten all scientific, like, oh, well, I take the chip and he won't realize that I'm really watching the news and the chip bag and da 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 da. He could have explained it, but he just made it so humorous because he made it simple. It was automatically implied, especially for those of us who are intelligent and could read that deeply. and he just says, "I'll take a chip and eat it," in just the most comical way. I just thought, like, oh my god, that's gotta be a meme. So I'm gonna keep on the lookout for a Death Note shirt, because I usually don't get merchandise, because it's like, unless it's usable, like a doll or a plushie. I mean, I'm not that big a person into like merchandise unless it's something I can use, or something that's so good I just have to have it. Now, if that shirt's out there that exists and it says, "I'll take a chip and eat it," because it was just so memorable, I'm like, you know what? I gotta have this shirt. It's too good to pass up. You know, that would be the exception. If it's just too funny, or it puts a smile on my face, then you know what? I'm like, you know, I'm gonna make an exception. It's too good to pass up. Anyway, so I finished the last episode, and get this: when I finished the last episode, the very second, like, I even checked before, the very second, I think it was like around 3 in the morning. I don't know, because that's usually when it does its updates. I don't know. Could have been coincidence. Sometimes they'll do updates at different times. I don't know, but it was so weird. I finished the very last episode of Death Note. Very depressing, by the way. And a pop-up of a trailer of a live-action Death Note appeared. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, so Death Note has been out for God knows how long. It's obviously, if you're an anime fan, it's a must-see. And I just watched it. I took me like 3 days to finish watching the entire series, and the very second I get done with the very last episode, this live action trailer pops up. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Is this a sign from God, if he exists? Is this supposed to be destiny? Is it supposed to be like a sign? I was like, oh boy, what are the chances? So, don't get me wrong, I'm not some conspiracy theorist. Oh, the world's flat, Illuminati confirmed. I'm definitely... There's been so many people talking about Illuminati. I doubt that it doesn't exist, and then, you know, there's certain things in life you just can't explain that goes beyond science. Now, I'm not here to say I'm some cultivist or supernaturalist, but I'm not willing to shoot down something, especially if it's so consistent. So I thought, and it's just fun to think about, you know, although ghosts aren't real, I would love to still be, you know, spooked out of it. I love the fact of being scared. I love the adrenaline pump. You know, I'd love to be in a haunted house. I would love to see a ghost. I just think it's cool. I love the idea. So yeah, I just find that very interesting. The exact moment I finished the exact last episode, the trailer for a live action film pops up when the series has been out for a long ass time. I watched the trailer, and one of the producers is here. The character Hiro Nakamura. I don't know his real name because I'm just a fail to all, you know, actors. I don't know a lot of actors' real names. They have to like be really someone I'm consistently watching. Like, I think the first actor's name I ever memorized was Jim Carrey, because he was just so hilarious and just wacky and relatable at the time. Just so, like, there's nobody like him. He is his own self. Like, there's nobody you can compare him to. So, anyway, I think I've talked enough. It's now an hour and 16 minutes, coming up an hour and 17 minutes. And I'm going to just say an hour 17 minutes when it hits exactly an hour and 17, because there's a lag delay. I want you to guys see the difference between it. So, I'm going to say it's an hour and 17 minutes now. Right when I said now, it hit its hour and 17 minutes. So I'll compare that and see how many difference in lag delay, because sometimes I have to start the video and wait about 11 seconds in before I start saying anything, because either it will glitch, there'll be a little bit of lag, or it'll be like, you know, on and off. So I'll wait about 11 seconds before starting a video and actually saying something, because, you know, sometimes, like, what I've already just said will happen. Anyway, like I said, please subscribe. Make sure to hit that notifications for all upcoming content so you get notified. Now, I don't make videos all the time, so if you get, you know, ring the bell, ring that Taco Bell, you know, your phone's not going to blow up, because I don't make videos all the time. I make them when people either suggest them for me to make them, or when I feel like it. I'm not well known enough to make them every time or every week, and plus I want to make good quality videos. I don't want to just make videos every single day, because then that takes the quality out of them, and I want to make sure there's something to talk about and to show you guys. So thank you as well, Tabitha. So yeah, please make sure to leave a like, please leave a comment, please really, it would really help me out if you share with your friends. Maybe copy the link and trust me when I say this. Every little bit counts. So please, 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 sub and share and all that. I do have a Patreon if you're interested, because that Patreon is going to go strictly to helping me pay for my college, as well as it's going to be helping me get set up for my studio. So I'm looking to set up a studio with specific equipment, so like special mics so you can hear me better internet connection, better computers, just all for better content and for your guys' enjoyment and visual purposes to make that much better content. Thank you. You as well, Boss UK 2003. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great night. Until next time, Sky out. See ya.